WTO moves international exchange deals deep into time beyond regulation. Geneva. The World Trade Organization's 164 contributors approved a series of alternate agreements early on Friday that included commitments on fish and pledges on health and food protection after greater than 5 grueling days of negotiations. The deals have been floor out over 5 days of bargaining at a conference of greater than 100 change ministers that changed into seen as a test of the capacity of nations to strike multilateral trade offers amid geopolitical tensions heightened by way of the Ukraine warfare. Delegates cheered when they handed the package deal of 6 agreements simply earlier than sunrise on Friday. Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala informed them, "The package deal of agreements you have reached will make a distinction to the lives of people round the world. The consequences demonstrate that the WTO is in fact able to responding to emergencies of our time." Earlier she had appealed to WTO participants to do not forget the sensitive balance required after almost round-the-clock talks that were extended for a further 2 days and have at instances been charged with anger and accusations. At one stage, a chain of needs from India, which sees itself as the champion of bad farmers and fishermen as well as developing countries, seemed set to paralyze talks. However, motels have been located, Exchange Resources stated. The WTO's regulations dictate that all selections are taken by consensus, with any unmarried member capable of workout a veto. The package, which Okonjo-Iweala called unprecedented, included the 2 maximum profile deals under consideration on fisheries and on a partial waiver of intellectual assets (IP) rights for COVID-19 vaccines. The accord to decrease fishing subsidies is only the second multilateral settlement placing new international buying and selling rules struck inside the WTO's 27-year history and is a ways extra ambitious than the first, which changed into designed to cut pink tape. The fishing subsidies deal has the capacity to opposite collapsing fish shares. Though pared back significantly, it nevertheless drew approval. This is a turning factor in addressing one of the key drivers of world overfishing, stated Isabel Jarrett, supervisor of the Pew Charitable Trust's campaign to lessen dangerous fisheries subsidies. The deal on a partial IP waiver to permit developing countries to provide and export COVID-19 vaccines has divided the WTO for nearly years, however subsequently passed. It has also drawn the fiercest complaint from marketing campaign companies that say it slightly expands on an current exemption in WTO policies and is too narrow with the aid of now not masking therapeutics and diagnostics. Put truly, it is a technocratic fudge aimed toward saving reputations, no longer lives, stated Max Lawson, co-chair of the People's Vaccine Alliance. One agreement had additionally been reached on Thursday, on maintaining a moratorium on e-commerce tariffs, that is taken into consideration critical to allow the loose flow of statistics global. Overall, many observers were broadly supportive and said the offers should raise the WTO, which become weakened via former U.S. President Donald Trump's crippling of its capacity to intervene in alternate disputes, and set it on a path for reform. There's now a package deal at the table at the ministerial conference that could provide an actual improve to the credibility and strength of the WTO gadget, stated John Denton, Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce, earlier than the bundle exceeded